Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host Brett Murphy, and for today's video it is going to be another ranking. And I'm going to be ranking all 4 of the Matrix movies. So The Matrix Resurrections has finally landed in theaters, marking the 4th installment in the Matrix franchise and the first entry into the series since back in 2003. After the very divisive The Matrix Revolutions, many thought that that was the end of Neo's story, but nearly 20 years later, here we are. So, how does this 4th entry compare to the original trilogy? Well, we're about to find out. Before I get into the actual ranking itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my ranking videos. So be sure to check that out, and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And so, with all that being said, let's hop right into things. Number 4, The Matrix Revolutions. We all knew that this was coming. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a ranking of these movies where this one wasn't in last place. The stuff in The Matrix itself is still pretty great, but sadly it's very infrequent. Zion's final stand is cool, for a while anyway, but it goes on a little too long. However, the APUs and the machine's swarm-like attacks are pretty dope. Neo and Trinity just randomly go missing for a while and aren't in the movie for like 30 to 40 minutes. The Machine City looks great, and there is a stunning shot above the clouds that is truly breathtaking. But the main villain, or the main machine I guess, is so absurd. What a weird choice. The final battle between Neo and Agent Smith is pretty awesome. I could have used a little less constant flashes of lightning, but it is very fun to watch. Then it kind of all just abruptly ends and everyone's like, yay, I guess. The choices that were made story-wise were daring, there's no doubt about that. But most of those daring choices made after the original don't really work. And this one has the weirdest of them. Number 3. The Matrix Resurrections. A movie filled with some high highs, but also some low lows. I am much more mixed on this one than I had originally hoped to be, but thankfully it is more on the positive side. It starts strong with an extremely meta approach. It may be a little too on the nose for some, but it definitely caught my attention. From there, a lot is quickly revealed and thrown at you very fast. Some good, some bad. The new cast of characters are pretty much all great. Jessica Henwick, Neil Patrick Harris, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, and Jonathan Groff in particular are all exceptional. Visually, it's great, as these movies always are. The action sequences are still pretty solid, but I found them to be a slight step back from the original trilogy. There's just a few too many quick cuts and a few too much shaky cam that was nowhere to be found in the originals. Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are amazing as expected, but the story does leave a lot to be desired, and it is a touch too convoluted for its own good. In the end, I did enjoy it and truly had a good time, but it just never really justified its reason for existing, and kind of just left me wondering, okay, cool, but what now? Number 2, The Matrix Reloaded. Okay, look, this movie is far from perfect, but I can't help but be absolutely and unapologetically in love with it. Growing up, this one was always my favorite. It's got almost no story and instead just a ton of action. But some unbelievably phenomenal action. Whether it's Neo versus the army of Agent Smiths, or the mansion fight that transitions into the iconic highway sequence. I kid you not, the action in this is top tier. It's so well choreographed, often done in long takes and with wide shots, and a lot of wire work spliced in for good measure. Sure, when they over-rely on the CGI for Neo's powers, it can look a little wonky, but the vast majority of it is done practically and in camera, and it is brilliant. Then, after having almost no story aside from find this person to find this person to find this person, it dumps an absolute truckload of needlessly convoluted exposition, followed by some crazy bullshit reveal, and then end of movie. Number 1, The Matrix. This movie is number 16 or 17 or whatever it is now on IMDb's top 250 of all time for a reason. because this movie was a total game changer. It came packaged with bold and complex storytelling, mind-blowing VFX that took the industry as a whole to the next level, thought-provoking themes, kick-ass action, a memorable villain in Hugo Weaving's Agent Smith, and a great cast of supporting characters like Carrie-Ann Moss's Trinity or Lawrence Fishburne's Morpheus. And of course, who could forget everybody's favorite Keanu Reeves as Neo? I mean, what else is there to say about this movie that hasn't already been said? It truly changed the genre. It made people rethink their everyday lives. I mean, I'm honestly sure that more than a few people suffered some kind of existential crisis after viewing this one. The Wachowskis went all in on this action sci-fi epic, and it paid off a million times over, as it is now one of the most recognizable and iconic movies of all time. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my ranking. And while you're at it, feel free to let me know how you would rank the 4 Matrix movies and what ranking you'd like to see me do next. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching. And that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.